I just wanted y'all to see my real reaction to this video. My real reaction. Matter of fact, hold on. Disconnect. Oh shit. Well, wait. No, not to that one. Oh, wait. I gotta turn that one on.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Oh, Jesus, help. Jesus. Is you here right now? Wait, where we at? I've already made it made it. I've already made some short, a short, two shorts of this video. This is Mama T. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. This is Mama T YouTube channel. The fall and the rise of the matriarchal or the matriarchs. Still a Married podcast. Jesus. Let me go a little bit further. Hold on.
University. So he sparks her memory all the way around because had she not fallen asleep, she wouldn't need this chaos because the chaos has to ensue before order, before she returns to her natural divine feminine origin. So her keeping, her maintaining that pregnancy and turning that off and deciding to just mutate it into the Y chromosome, that's her reflection. She is supposed to, anything that he gives to her, and this is even in not even thinking about the son, but the sons as in the my sons, the Masons, the relationships that she has, the dynamics that are in her family or the love interest or whatever are all just to remind her that self-love, again, taking it back to self-love, that this is a
Hey.
this is reminding you.
Thank you for tapping in. How you doing?
In truth, this is reminding you
Annabelle.
to reconnect with your divine feminine source, which is that X chromosome. I say. You know, there's a
So what we tapping into is the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, how we feel out of consciousness, and how the separation. I kind of had put, hey, we're going to get into what happened before the separation of the races, right? There was a separation even before masculine and feminine. So that's what we're getting into right now. And it's amazing. I'm already I'm stuck right now.
I'm in question with brother.
Thank you. Thank you for the like. Like, share, subscribe, y'all.
A lot of things.
This is the Mary Stiller podcast. Oh, I can take this out
A
now.
lot of things were taught to us in a reverse manner. And then you just look at the condition around you, and then you can tell how this whole thing has collapsed on us. Now, when we start talking about this, we're trying to awaken women. Because at the end of the day, if women don't awaken, what do you think the earth is going to do? Right? Because if you think this shit up to y'all to fix, well, look how you've been doing so far. And it's not really to take jabs at you, but it's really to take a look at your nation.
right? Look at the nature, and I'm not just talking about black men, well, all men, all the Y chromosome, just in period. Look at the nature. Something needs to be adjusted here, right? Something needs to be fixed. And then when we start speaking about matriarchal lineages, bloodlines, and this whole realm, when we say matriarch, you're thinking women are going to, and like the sister said, rightfully so, we're gonna be abusive and start pulling y'all by your hair out the cave and
People are
beating y'all over
lost.
the head with gloves and shit like that. I don't necessarily think that's a woman's nature. Some women maybe, I think patriarchal women, yes. But then you ask this question, well, what are men supposed to do then? Right? Like, damn, like you have no clue about your design, who you are, right? You're balanced, right? You're supposed to harmonize with the divine feminine, not dominate or control her or create a hierarchy over her. Now, what the sister said earlier, I'm sorry, sister said earlier when we were talking about external forces, people like, no alien talk, well, these aliens are really ancestors, right? These are people, and I say they started here. Right, when we start doing deep dives and Anunnakis, Pleiadians, Syrians, or whatever, they don't have their hand in genetic mixing pot. So there's not one over the other. It's just that these particular ones, they started here, right? People think they're coming from somewhere else. What if they started in this realm? And their rotation comes every 3,600 years. And in their 3,600 years, they're out there gallivanting, doing this, that, and the other. But to show when they say, oh, we're masters in their God, I always say they must not be that masterful in God because they keep running out of shit. They keep running out of gold.
So this goes along to what I was talking about, how the planetary systems align and how they come and visit Earth every so often and take resources and kidnap children and people and places and things and stuff like that. Resources, especially gold, minerals, and things like this. They do it on a rotation.
They need to go for their existence. And so the Earth creates it naturally. This realm creates all the minerals and all the elements that are here. It never runs out of it. So if you're the gods and masters of the universe, and I'm not coming back, this, that, and the other, we gods, and they gonna put all this stuff. Well, I disagree with 90% of all of that. If they do come back, because they're fighting too. You can see all the infighting that's going on all through all dimensional planes, all through the universes. It ain't just on this realm. This spiritual war is
Everywhere,
so to speak, right? So to come full circle back to the question when you asked, well, what are we supposed to do then? I was making the point that, well, if you were defending and protecting instead of trying to dominate and control, we may not be in this position, right? But the thing is, you want to take the role of the creatrix, of the matrix, and you make false matrices, you make false gods, false light, and you make everybody bow down to these deities that you created that can't do anything, that can't create, right? So you have to make believe. You have to create these things and make people bow down to it. Then you usurp power from others, and then you make it seem like you're the divine one. When in fact, a lot of you caused a lot of the internal drifts that we had. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Sister Viva go ahead and continue.
All right, cool. Okay, so the aliens, if you want to see the mirror, all right, not some parts of what we are native to this planet, but then there are other things that are DNA, that are alien. Also, let's understand when we're talking about the Anunnaki, they are still here. They're here not only physically, like where they are them, they're in the background, but they're here DNA-wise, because they put their DNA and everything on this planet. They're still here. They can't just get up and leave. Not spiritually, all right? And physically, some of them still here. I want to talk about the nature of the male real quick. I want to get around to what the question that somebody asked.
Yeah, they just can't leave spiritually. Hey, thank you for tapping in. Hi, how are you doing? Like, share, subscribe, please, and thank you. Thank you for the hearts.
All right. So we have this mindset that men are supposed to protect and they're supposed to be rear of children. And let's understand what a Y chromosome is. And this is not Diva Laree saying it to my brothers in the section. I want you to know I love you. I respect you, okay? So I need to tell you what science says. Oh,
And this is the part that got me. This is the part that had me like my jaw on the floor, and then it went under the floor. Like it was just, yeah. This is the Stellar Mary podcast. I'm listening to Mama T. This is a podcast that she did yesterday, and some very interesting information is lining up with what I've been recently talking about and in the past talked about, and just we're kind of all connecting the dots as to the disconnect and what needs to happen for our healing purposes. You know what? I need you to stand up just a little bit better than what you're doing right now. So get this. I know we can. There you go.
Y chromosome
Works better.
is. Science says a
Y chromosome.
is a genetically modified, unnatural, parasitic chromosome. Unnatural, genetically modified, parasitic, and recessive chromosome.
And don't get it messed up.
And
I love men. I love men. I love men. Understand this. I don't hate men whatsoever. But I understand there's different we need to heal from and understand on both parts. And this is what we're working through. Generational curses and separations and what we've been through to get where we have to go to. Because whew, that gray alien boy talking about men coming to extinction, we're finding out just how this is a more of a probability than not. And it's not so much a bad thing, it's just one coming back to itself. Because women are creators, original creators.
a recessive chromosome. So what does recessive mean? Recessive means it's unnatural. It means it has a lifespan and it's going to eventually die out. Modified means that it's not natural, that something purposely created it. It wasn't something that just came about just because of something made that happen. And then when we're talking about genetically modified beings, let's understand what a genetically modified being does. We name a genetically modified what you got, Dr. Reverend? You got corn. We got, you got another one for me?
Pretty much everything out there, because you know carrots used to be black.
Okay, the African, let's talk about this, African killer bees, all right? Even when we talk about light skin, we're talking about a GMO, light skin, all right? And so let's understand what is the nature and characteristic traits of those three entities. Well, what they're going to do is try to take
What that man just do, I just seen the video yesterday. I've been ignoring it for like the past couple of days. But I finally clicked on the video, and one of the men that came from South Africa, he actually unalived his wife. Fucking crazy. It's not like there's not other unalivings happening, but we're talking about the healing and the disconnect and why these things happen.
for that which created it. That's what African killer bees do. They see the real honeybees out, and they kill them off. That's what genetically modified corn does. When it finds a field and the field is next to it, and the seeds flow into that, it's going to turn that corn into GMO corn too. And when we're talking about your Albion, so-called white people, what is in their nature? So people are actually saying that men is their nature to protect, when no, it's not. Their nature is to take over that which created it. That's the nature of a GMO being, period, and point blank. There ain't no, oh, we gonna be friends. No, if it's in your vicinity, its purpose, the nature is to take over that which created it. And then when we're talking about a parasite,
That is facts. The Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World movie, when they genetically modified that dinosaur, and the dinosaur outsmarted them and camouflaged itself when it was in that enclosure, right? And they went in looking for it, and they were like, "Oh no, it's still in there! Get them out! Get them out!" Yeah, and then it just went rampaging through the whole park, just unaliving everything until something original got a hold to it. Yeah, I can see where this is going.
which a Y chromosome is a parasitic gene, because it has to depend on the X. It has to. It can't survive without an X. It can't survive. So what is the nature of a parasite? Well, a parasite's nature is to make the host think that it can't live without the parent.
Greetings from Switzerland. What's cracking, Switzerland? What's up? How y'all doing over there, Switzerland? Thanks for tapping in. Like, share, and subscribe. You're awesome.
That's what a parasite does. So when we're talking about the nature of a Y chromosome, is to make the host think that it can't live without the parasite. That's what a parasite does. So when we're talking about the nature of a Y chromosome, we're not understanding his true nature. It's not to protect, to rear, and to be a provider. No, it is to take over that which created it. And that's the problem that we're not understanding now. Yes.
Hold on, that's the,
Crazy work. What does that mean?
okay, I have to be real. That shit's concerning. Their nature is,
That is Mama T YouTube channel, the Mary Stiller podcast.
take over the whole thing, is parasitic. Wow. I didn't make it. That's
Scientifically, this is stated. Scientifically, we're bringing spirituality into the physicality, so people can understand these different dimensions of how things work. Spiritual law. Okay.
okay.
Is it different? Like, hey, look at it. Is it different? I'm asking you. I just told you a genetically modified parasitic gene. Do they not behave like those things? I'm asking you. You gotta be honest. If you're not gonna be honest,
Listen. Yeah, but I'm just shocking. See, you're right. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Well, we're talking about what happened before the divide of races and the divide of masculine and feminine and the divide of God. That's what we're decoding, so everybody can know where to heal from. It's not racism, but it's to understand. You got to know where you came from to get where you're going, right? So the whole purpose of everybody on every level is to heal. That's the whole dynamic.
I'm just like, damn,
Don't matter the race, don't matter the color, don't matter the sex.
what do we do with that? Wait, how are we supposed to, what are we supposed to do with that?
You gotta respect their nature.
We need a new word.
Respect.
No, don't try to change them, change you.
Right.
It's not about changing them. The
Facts.
problem is that women are expecting men to do something
Facts.
that's not in their nature.
Yeah.
Respect.
Okay. Okay, next question. The next question is this.
Facts. This is why I am single. Changing myself, healing myself, focusing on my self-love, my healing. I will bring that same energy into me. I can't make anybody else change. I can only change myself. I can only be the example of the change. Facts.
If their nature is to be parasitic,
Their nature
then
is to be
what
parasitic.
uses do women do with men?
Okay, so now,
They're
now
only
we understand
good
what we're
for
talking
one
about there.
thing. Oh Lord, no! I heard that before. I did a reading like that. They're only good for one thing. That's fucking crazy. They're not just only good for one thing, though. Facts. Men are not just only one thing. They're not. Hey, I just seen it because obviously I was in the midst of a thought. Hey, thanks for saying hi. Like, share, subscribe, please, and thank you. Oh my God, they're good for more than one thing, but it's just like bringing the unity, bringing the balance, and knowing where we came from to know where we got to go to. Mainly, the whole fact of is just healing, healing, and knowing how to heal and what to heal is the whole purpose and point.
Cortisone, its purpose is to spread seed. And here's the problem, women get under this notion of, he's a good man, and he's gonna be a provider. They're not respecting who he is. And I've said this before, women think he comes across the street, and the man is across the street, and he's coming over across the street to meet you. They think, oh, well, she's the kind of woman and can be a good wife. He's not thinking about that. He has sexed you in his head 3 times before he made his way across the street. His job is to plant. That's his job. It is not.
That's it.
Don't call him all these negative terms. Don't hate on him. Respect his name.
Yeah, you know what? Shit. Well, there you have it. Thank y'all for joining us tonight.
Have you heard? Reading glasses are outdated. A new technology.
Tonight, I'm just gonna Now, you know what? That's something that really delve into that, because when you put it that way, right? Then, you know, women start looking at their relationships, and they look at their relationship personally that they had, and their mother had, and their dad, you know, all the way to the first mothers, and this constant battle that we have. And it is a program. You're supposed to protect us and keep us shielded, and they like never do, right? So it makes you wonder, like, well, damn, why are we always telling you to do this shit, and you really never do the shit? So then it makes you have to look at you, right? And what you're saying, well, then what do I need from him? Or what can I utilize this being for? Because you were saying that love, you broke down love earlier, and it's like, so there's a time we didn't even need them to procreate, and I still think we still have that ability if we change our diets and because it separate in a certain way. Now, I'm not promoting, oh, women separate from men, women over here, men over there. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this, what I do notice though, is some women do separate from men. after being with it for long periods of time, they start to get healthier, they become wealthier, they become happy, right? And so it's something to really take.
That is fucking facts. Let me just explain something real quick. My ex, right? One of my twins' dad. His uncle was like, yeah, like deal with younger women, deal with a certain woman. Like he was asking his uncle, like, how do you stay so young? Because they're like siphoning and sucking and vamping off of the energy of a woman. This is what came out this man's mouth. I'm just like, what? And this is in the beginning of my awakening. So as I'm slowly but surely putting things together, I'm like, oh, damn. This is how this works, huh? But it doesn't always have to be volatile, violent, and disruptive and destructive. Relationships don't have to be that way, but depending on the male and the female's tendency of healing and healed portions of them depends upon the relationship, depends upon the children that they were bringing to the world and everything else. And typically, I don't know that. I still have the question, why did God create man? That is like the big question right here. The big question right here is, why did God create man? Why was that separation had? Yes, she gave birth to him, but why?
To look at and wonder what's going on. And from a lot of clients that I did have that have been in marriages for 40, 50 years, they can't wait for leave the planet, or they trying to figure out a way to get out the marriage. And it's like alarming. And so we've been institutionalized that women, you need to get married, right? You have to have a good husband and things of these natures. So we have all of these programs in us, but when you, just to say, when you start looking at this thing from a natural standpoint, their nature and our nature, how do we rectify this? How do we fix this?
Real quick, and then I'm gonna pass, but
Wait, before she said that, see my head turn before she said it? I'm like, damn, we have two totally different natures. But then again, like, this is obviously known. But how, I mean, I believe it has to be a mutual thing. It has to be a mutual agreement. It has to be mutual, like, all day, all night, all time. Like, this is a constant healing, evolving, growing, etc. Damn, phone tweaking.
listen, we talk about the men.
That's on my damn phone.
In nature, who's the one that is going to put their life on the line for the child? Who is the only one?
The mother, and if they got a dog, the dog too.
Okay, who is the one that makes sure that child is fed?
The mother. Yeah.
Who is the one that rears it and makes sure it knows? So if it's done in nature, why do we keep doing the opposite and expecting him to do something that he don't do in nature? He didn't do it in biblical times. He doesn't do it now. He didn't do it in ancient times.
But
It's not
what did she say?
in biblical times, he doesn't do it. Now he didn't do it. In ancient times, at what point do women recognize that problem is you? Because you keep expecting him to do something.
I'll take accountability. Exactly. Say I just, I'm gonna go myself, be to myself, because you know what? Until you find a relationship where a man is gonna be the type of man he's supposed to be, wants to be, you need to be with a type of man that you need to be with. And men, I guess they need to just stop cosplaying and stop putting on that fake ass mask, and you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, like I said, somebody has to take accountability. I said that. I said, somebody got to take accountability. I'll take fucking accountability because, and this is what I've been talking about. I had to take accountability for the shit I didn't fucking know about, the shit I did know about, the shit I didn't agree to, the shit I did agree to. I took accountability on all fucking parts, and I'm gonna need everybody else to do the same because this is some bullshit.
That's not in his nature.
You keep playing the game.
All right, I'm past.
No, but it really, it ties into
Insanity.
what I teach about them being narcissistic by nature, because if we look at narcissism as being a demon that is literally, if you think of the movie Sinners, as recent as we can go, this is the vampiric nature of them. If you think of their anatomy, they are constantly trying to plug into the source and usurp the energy. So the Y chromosome being the furthest disconnection from what we know of as God, that would breed narcissism, because if you think of the demon always needs a host. That's that parasite you're talking about. So not even on a genetic level, but on a spiritual level, these are literally anti-material entities that we're talking about. So and I teach, I mean it's uncomfortable because
Interesting. I got my notes here, right? I was just saying how to be possessed by an entity. You have to be missing a portion of you in order to be filled by a portion of something. If not wholly missing something and being completely fulfilled, or in a sucking place or something rather like that, to be possessed by another half or a whole of something. That whether it be a person, a place, or a thing.
we are so heavily sedated with the idea of marriage by way of religion. It's a religious patriarchal construct.
Yes, ma'am.
Narcissistic, because women are associating their value in motherhood, in wifery. Like we are associating so much of our value with external validation, most particularly from men. So when that narcissist sees that vulnerability and they see you as that sort of like, okay, you know, that parasitic nature comes online, and then they come in to show you in your karma. If we go back to the word alien, if you look at the word alien, you get alien. So we are contractually obligated to serve our purposes within the masculine realm. So what are you here to learn from these experiences that you're having? Because the ultimate answer, the only answer I can give women is to be centered.
If your child is suffering from depression,
Like that's the only answer I
Or
can
we
give
women said to put yourself first.
that you're having. Because the ultimate answer, the only answer I can give women is to be centered. Like that's the only answer I
Or
can
we
give
women said to put yourself first.
Right. That's
Absolutely.
part of the decentralization, because instead of your world revolving around the validation that you were seeking from them, you have to get that from within.
I said.
I had a very interesting conversation with my, and she's right. 100% she is right. Putting herself first, and I told her, make sure you go through college, make sure you get you multiple streams of income before you even think about getting in a relationship, before you even think about having sex, if that's what you do later on. Because at that point, she didn't want a relationship. I don't blame her. My daughter's very fucking intelligent. I love my baby. I really do. Yeah, we had that conversation. It was something else I was going to say, but I'm gonna let this play.
Can I speak on?
I remember
Y'all
that.
ain't you know.
Because she hit the nail on the head. When you're talking about religion, so what people don't understand is all religions are patriarchal. Now, when we're talking about the Bible, let's understand that the Bible is a canonized version of the scriptures written by women. The original scriptures came into play in 325 AD, but the scriptures, the original Bible rather, came in 325 AD, but the scriptures don't go so old, they can't be dated. Who wrote it? Yeah, why we don't know that? But then he takes her scriptures and writes her out of her own story. And this is the problem women don't understand. So when you're talking about all your major religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, all those are patriarchal constructs by the melanated male. This is what people get so upset about. Yeah.
Your doctrines, your organized doctrines, your Bibles, the Quran, the Torah,
So,
are documentation of the removal of the divine feminine.
right.
Right?
So now when you start talking about, we talk about how women went into slavery to the male, and she doesn't want to recognize it because she's now glorifying this thing where the father is giving the daughter away. That's madness. That's madness.
I go, honey, I was talking about that yesterday. Woo! Days. Well, so let me go ahead, finish your point because I want to understand what is that question.
I just want to break down the etymology. Let's break down how we can see this from an etymological standpoint. All right. About she has, right? What is a husband etymologically? A manager of farm animals.
Yeah, husbandry, yeah.
Whereby it's showing she is his property, which is why she takes on his last name.
Hey,
And
girl.
property. Now, let's understand this.
Yes.
He's managing farm animals, but then they have a family. If you look up the etymology, and I'm not talking about the definition, because those of y'all have to understand the origins of these terms, and every day, slaves and servants. That's what family means. So now she gives birth to children. He's got a family or slaves and servants.
This whole shit is real, baby.
Look, let's understand the contract is there.
Hold on, I missed something.
He's managing farm animals, but then they have a family. If you look up the etymology, and I'm not talking about the definition, because those of y'all have to understand the origins of these terms, and slaves and servants. That's what family means. So now she gives birth to children. He's got a family or slaves and servants.
This whole shit is real, baby.
Look, let's understand the contract is there so that they can do commerce. He can do commerce with her across state lines. Well, what's commerce? You look up commerce originally, it would have the word sex there. Now when you look it up, it's intercourse.
Hold on, let me see this, because also, you saying something that is very,
Slaves and servants.
I'm gonna rewind this just one more time. Hold on, y'all. Shit, it's crazy. Hold on.
Well, so go ahead, finish your point, because I want to understand what is that question.
I just want to break down the etymology. Let's break down how we can see this from an etymological standpoint, all right?
Yes.
When we're talking about marriage, all right, she has a husband, right? What is a husband etymologically? A manager of farm animals.
Yeah, husbandry, yeah.
See, this is why there is a marriage certificate whereby it's showing she is his property, which is why she takes on his
Yeah.
last name.
Hey,
and
girl.
Property. Now, let's understand this.
Yes.
He's managing farm animals, but then they have a family. If you look up the etymology, and I'm not talking about the definition, because those of y'all have to understand the origins of these terms, and every day,
Let me get my
slaves are servants. That's what family means. So now she gives birth.
Slaves of service. Family. This was just too juicy. I cannot just, when that first shit hit me hard, it hurt. I'm just saying it hurts. It hurt. Healing hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But the realization is real and is needed for growth. Let's keep going. Slaves of service, Jesus.
Children, he's got a family or slaves and servants.
This whole shit is real, basically.
Look, let's understand the contract is there so that they can do commerce. He can do commerce with her across state lines. Well, what's commerce? You look up commerce originally, it would have the word sex there. Now when you look it up, it's intercourse.
Hold on, let me see this.
Commerce sex.
You saying something that is very, it was triggering me the other day. Somebody commented on one of my videos, and I was talking, I don't know what I was talking about, but they were like, you not with a family, right? You against your family, this and that and the other. Not family, nations, all of this shit these people throw at you. This is like the
Contract, this fucking bullshit
But
contract.
I wanna share this, right? Because this right here was,
Hi, Jordan.
this is real, and I just looked this up.
My bad, I didn't see
Tell me
you.
if you can see this, right? The etymology. I looked up the etymology of family, early 15th century, servants of a household.
Service of the house.
From Latin familia, family, servants, domestics, collectively, the servants in a household, thus also members of a household, the state, property. Child, slave.
Yeah, she doesn't recognize that she went into slavery with this thing called a marriage. And originally she was with the village. And
I was
the problem
fucking
is that when she
right.
moved away from the village, she went with a being that's not there. Well, he took away her ability to tap into family. Now, you gotta understand, again, this is, let me say this, I know my brothers too.
And then people wonder why I see this is what I didn't just leave my children. I didn't ever fucking leave my children. No, ain't no motherfucking way, no how. I'm still fighting for every single one of my children. But there are other people, men and women, understandable now, to a certain extent. But that don't mean you don't need to assist in your children's growth and well-being. We're not excusing that shit. Okay? Why? That's why I say I don't want to get married. I don't want no paperwork. Fucking, I almost say NDA. Not no fucking NDA. what do they call that? Someone protecting the assets and money, right? Okay, as long as mine stay, you're not gonna leave me fucked up, hungry, and homeless. I'm good. We're not doing that. We're being mature. We're being, responsible, and yeah. But as far as this contractual bullshit, I knew it, and I'm glad she broke it down to a T. Because you know what? I said I do not want another physical marriage, like documentation. I don't want it because it's a trap. And I said, this is for the fucking devil. And I swear to God, I just felt it in my heart. I knew it. I fucking knew it. And they are here breaking it down for me and for you, for all of us to understand these different contractual agreements. Oh, chills. Oh, because I was like tribal. There's something about tribal. They broke the tribes up. They wanted to have their hands and their feet and their necks and they fucking fingers, finger fucking the whole system. It was a whole created system to really fuck us up spiritually, on a spiritual level. It's the things that you can't see immediately that you think it's a good thing because it's so religious. It's so many generational curses. This is one of them. This is why I say I don't want a no. Gotta be careful with any contracts. It's just like we're going back to a pure state of trust, a pure state of respect, a pure state of truth. This is what we're going to. This is the point and the way of everything that we are doing right now, simply because this shit is fucked up. This shit is not working. And yes, no,
Brothers, because all brothers are not like this. But y'all need to
Correct.
understand that a male is a predatory being.
Then have to be the best boy for dogs. I mean, he's just been going and I've just been sitting here chilling.
Predatory being. A predatory being. And when you go and look in, who are committing these crimes against women and children, the vast majority of them, when we're talking about that, I'm saying 85% and more are males. When we're talking about a child being molested, all right, or ate grapes or whatever, the vast majority, more than 75% of them are people that the child knew.
Yeah, or live in the house.
Yeah, live in the house, a mother, a father, a living friend, an uncle, a cousin.
All right.
That's where it comes from, and these are more than 75% are males. More than 85% rather are males. But here's, the thing is, we're not recognizing, once again, what is his nature, because what's he supposed to be there in the first place? Because you're supposed to be with the village.
True. See, now there you go. That makes sense.
Okay?
That really makes sense. That's how you protect it. This is
It's village.
real shit.
You only come together to do the thing that they gonna.
Yeah, that's how it's done in nature. Ain't no such thing as a home for a father bear baby.
I did a whole video on the father. If you look at the word father, anytime you incorporate father, you're talking about father. It's not father, it's farther. So it takes you further away from the source, which is you. So absolutely.
Listen, hold on. Let me take a couple seconds. How y'all feeling in the chat? How y'all feeling about this? How y'all feeling? What's going on? And all are listening to these sisters break this thing down, like you movie with the etymology with family. Because they always throwing that at you. You're not but a family. A woman's supposed to be taking care of a family. Your job is to mother, I'm to do this, so when you hear these words are stuff, right? They keep casting on us, they keep putting us in a certain mindset and conditioning that we feel that this is our duty, right? So is this actually affecting these chromosomes the way that you're saying? These X chromosomes and these Y, I mean, it's like a constant battering. Now, when we get on here, we tend to make these disclaimers, right? Oh, well, that's so much. That's so much, this and that, the other, but damn, I think we all talk about y'all because honestly, until we get to the root of the problem, right, of our
To the root of the problem. And like it's crazy because I kept seeing like Tale of the Two Strings, Kubo, Koku, Kobu, Kubo, and he was like when he had to fight his grandfather, and he was the Moon King, and how the Moon King divided the family and all the. Oh, I want to cry. Now I want to cry. What the fuck? Yeah.
existence, how we can coexist, we're gonna have to reset each other's nature, right? And we have been, our nature has been inverted in a way, and we're trying to make something work that's not working. Somebody talk about how one of these conscious community people ain't gonna like this conversation because this is what they promote, and they're very sexist. And I'm not even gonna mention their name, but this is the thing: you have certain gatekeepers, and they're in certain positions to make sure we stay underneath this umbrella or underneath this paradigm that's crumbling and ending. So you're seeing a lot of women come into themselves, right? And it seems to be a threat to certain men. They feel a certain kind of way, right? But basically, the cycle is ending, right? We're witnessing the ending of this particular cycle, and we're moving into another cycle, and things will never be the way that they were before. So, what do we do? Some of the sisters are listening now, right? And it's so funny how the I don't want to say division. It's like what do you call that? When it's two opposing viewpoints. How women, we always can relate to certain things, and men just don't understand, right? They just don't get why we feel how we feel, and things like this disconnect to be a certain way. Now, what do we do? How do we move from this? How do we rise to our rightful or our natural places? I don't want to say rightful, but our natural place in this realm, because you can see there's so much chaos going on. There's so much disturbances. It's like that pimple is coming to the head, and it's about to bust, and things need to burst. So the healing process can begin. And I like talking about solutions. I like talking about how we can work this thing out if there's a way to work it out. Because neither side seem like they want to bust, right? Men don't want to give up their throne of power and authority. And I don't think necessarily women want your power and authority. We just want to get from up under y'all, right? We just want to get from underneath this oppressive system. And many feel that, I noticed with a lot of Black men, they're okay with the system. They just want to take the place of who's the face of the system, right? They don't have a problem with the way the system is. Many will argue, no, the system is it's who's running it. It's the problem. But the system is adverse to anything that has to do with divine feminine energy. So, yeah, this is pretty intense. I want to move on about if there's any evolution.
And I want to say that pissed me off. Like, it pisses me off when and I can say I do it here and there every once in a while, right? My mind, you know what I mean? I'm always fighting these illusions every day. We all are, especially for those who are really honestly trying to fight the system and the programming of it all. It gripes and grinds my gears. It gripes my ass. you know what I'm fighting against, and you have the ability, the opportunity, the know-how to help me help myself, and you're still in systematic timing. Sometimes it's like in being able to deprogram and having the discernment of knowing who, how, and what to help when they need help. Know the difference between somebody's trying to help themselves and somebody's trying to take advantage. Like, that's some things that pisses me off sometimes, because and then God's rejection is protection as well. Take that into consideration. But when like, it's detrimental, it's fucking important. And that's some things that pisses me off when I run into some type of situations like that myself in my personal life. And I'm like, damn, that could really fucking help me in some type of way to help myself to become more sufficient, more. And I don't know. Like I said, and understanding a masculine nature from a feminist nature. That protection is not there. That's facts. What is that? Protection and something else it says protection, but it's not dominate and control. Protection and provide. Nope, that ain't it. I don't know. I was writing in the dark, damn it. But domination and control seems to be more prominent on the masculine side, as far like the total opposite of protection. And I don't know. Protection and guidance, protection and empathy. I'm not quite sure what the dynamic at this moment, but I'll figure it out in a second. But she says it, if y'all go check out that video, she says it in the video in the beginning. I want to say within the first 20 to 30 minutes, I just kind of got you guys on the almost at the hour mark. And right now we're at the hour and 16 mark of where this conversation left me in shock.
Of the relationship.
Did you ask a question?
What was the question? Yeah, I'll be running my mouth. Go ahead and remind me, because y'all got me like, I'm telling you, mama, like,
You said,
all night,
what's the solution? Okay, let's do this. Okay, first of all, I see that there is a fight. And the matriarch is not about a fight. It should not be about a fight. That's feminism. There's a difference. So what am I saying? When you stand in your place, then he doesn't have a choice but to respect what you have said. That's the problem. You keep trying to fight all this is about my baby daddy. Ain't no baby daddy if you say no. You as the woman, you are controlling it. Remember I told you he ran across the street, he risking his life because he wants to spread seed. You're the one with the power. So the problem is that we too busy trying to diss him and be mad at him. Respect who he is. Because when you respect yourself, he's going to respect you. You don't have a choice. If you respect, look, I don't, it's good to
That's true. I mean, in so many words, I do respect my baby daddy, ex-husband, in some type of way, as far as like, hey, I'll be baby daddy. Fuck you. You ain't gotta be here. Just don't hurt my babies. Like that's where I have a problem with any and every fucking body. And quite naturally, that's me as a mom, as a person. It's in my nature. So respect me as being that, and I do respect you as you being you, but it's just like the narcissism is in fucking insane. It goes beyond the fact of control at times. And then when it gets to verbal, physical altercation and unnecessary violence, that's when it becomes a problem. When mofos trying to unalive for money and all that kind of shit, that's where we come into more systematic programming in the issue. And that's definitely what I have a problem with. And this is a point of healing in what we're getting out of and what we're going around as to learning where it hurts and where it has to heal.
To hang out with you or whatever, and you take time before you let him spread seed in you. See, the problem is the woman is too quick to think, oh, I need a man. She doesn't know her own power. And it is not to say, oh, I don't need no man. Listen, I got a lot of great men in my life. Don't have sex with none of them, because these are none. None don't get none. That's how I feel. That's my spiritual walk, okay? So, but I love all of them, all of my brothers. They help me in whatever way I need them. I pay them, and they do what I need them to do, and then they go on their way. I love my brothers. I love them. You gotta respect who they are, and you gotta respect that they got a Y chromosome, and that Y chromosome has a nature. The nature of that Y chromosome is to try to take over everything. That's what they do. Well, you gotta put them in place. And this is not being disrespectful, but I'm gonna give you this much leeway, and then that's all I'm gonna do.
Imagine sitting on the beach.
So when the Y chromosome was split to make another, that's why it's so violent and volatile. Like I said, God showed me the fucking truth. And it ain't nothing but the damn truth. When Adam got up in his ego, said fuck his first wife, went on to make another wife, went on to, well, hey, I did this betrayal, I want another, I need you. And that's the fucking crazy thing. God still blew life into that creation. Said, fucking, you have it here. Here you go. Here you go. And this shit just run rapid and cause chaos and all kind of shit, and chimeras and chimeras and chimeras and contracts and government and fucking bullshit we have today that's breaking down.
And it's not about women being disrespectful to him. That's the last thing you want to do. We already did that. That's why we got here. If you want to make sure we stay on a higher vibratory frequency, you don't have to fight him. You don't have to call him names. You need to stand in your place and know your power. And when you do that, he does not have a choice but to respect you.
I say, now that's a great point.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to add something to that, Sister Mary.
Yeah, I was just, as far as solutions go, I think people are caught on wanting the instant gratification, like, okay, we know about the divine feminine and the matriarchy. Come on, let's get stuff popping. But we have to understand that 90% of the genetic data of the Y chromosome has been lost over time. The Y chromosome continues to degenerate. So what is happening is being reabsorbed into the X, and his divine femininity is coming online. So when we talk about gender wars, the real war is happening internally with him. So until he understands how to reconnect with his creator, with the image that he was made through, then he's going to continue to stumble and fall, and then she's going to continue on her path because she is birthing it through her need for that validation, for her lack of the love for herself. So the whole purpose of decentralization is not, the men think is, man hating, man bashing, like you said earlier, they think it's about oppressing them or coming to take over. It's none of that. It's demanding our respect.
Respect.
Because if I stop giving you access to your power source, because the wife isn't just the wife, she's the Wi-Fi. She's just the network. So if I stop letting you connect to my system, you're not like Sister Diva said, you're not gonna have a choice. But women have to have the willpower and the strength to do that.
Right. That's where it starts though with the woman. See, that's where, again, that's why my whole issue is never to bash the brother, because I know where he comes from. He comes from a woman. And then my question becomes, how do I get my little sister before she allows herself to bring such a being that's disrespectful into this place? Because you gotta understand, women control the numbers of beings on this planet. And it's not, you don't even have to fight him. When the woman starts loving herself, he doesn't show up. This is why he don't want you to know that you are the one who's controlling the sex of that child. Because when you have love, the only thing you can give birth to is a female. That's it. You don't have to fight, no nothing, no wars, no nothing. Love your.
I swear. Look, I said it. I just wrote it down. What I just wrote it. Where I write it. I've already said this in other readings. Survival, forcing for men. Self-protection from XX came from the bone, while Lilith affected gene. You body will reject the baby. Why healing is so important. I feel men are made from trauma. I feel men are made from trauma. I wrote it the fuck down here. I already wrote it. Just want to show you, just so you know I'm not bullshit. Men made trauma. The male species are made out of survival when the woman is in survival mode. This goes along with the why, no, not the why, the X. Why the X is dominant and how the X turns into Y. And that just trickles down and breaks down all the other stuff that I have spoken about. As far as people's personal life decisions and what they choose to do with life. It's your life, you make the decision to choose, but no, at the same time, you're not healed, you're not whole.
And make sure that every woman you come in contact, you show her love and she loves herself. He doesn't come into this divinity. You can make him disappear when you know who you are. Let's be clear on that. And there is no fight. There is no, I demand my respect. You don't have a choice but to give it to me because I said something. That's it. There's no fight. I got the problem.
True.
That's how I have, quote unquote, narcissist people coming up because they know better. It's already been said.
That's facts. If women rule the world, 9 times out of 10, it'd be a whole bunch of people minding their fucking business. Honestly, that has been said for over 10 years. I've known of this saying. If women ruled the world, it'd be a whole bunch of people minding their fucking business. Because a lot of women, that's what they do.
The only energy I'm putting out is respect to them, and the only thing they can give me is respect. So if you get this kind of energy coming to you, you got to check stuff. And then when we get low self, then he doesn't, she can make him disappear. And I mean it.
You know,
Sister did.
you know, a lot of, there's some of the issues that is, conflicting with women is by making the male the center of everything and losing herself in that dynamic. And one of the solutions I feel is her knowing herself, and not just physically, but spiritually.
Yeah.
Right? She has to know who she was long before. Many women don't even realize that they create these doctrines, right? Some of them are so embedded under the spell, and then they marry or they have a lot of male around them to keep them submissive onto that particular doctrine. So they don't know, they're totally lost. And they're going to psychologists, therapists, and all these different beings to try to help them cope with what's going on, and they have been denying their nature, right? Denying who they are. Someone asked in the chat, well, who raises the boys, right? Men raise boys.
Okay, cool, I think that's right.
Men raise boys.
And if you really, if it was, you know, up to a certain age, so back in way back when times, when women did have boys, after they were 12 and they started reaching puberty, they were to leave to go be raised with the men, right? In their right capacity. Because there are things that they can teach them that they need to learn about their nature. Because women, I think boys who stay under women for too long may not understand their nature totally as well. And they become, there is a syndrome where women are trying to make their sons their husbands.
Yeah.
Right? And mess with them psychologically. So there are men who grow up, they can't, how can I say, they can't decipher the difference on how they deal with their mothers and how they deal with their women, right? So that creates another dynamic of all these mounds and mounds of psychological issues that we go through as relationships, because we're being taught how we're supposed to deal with this. We're being taught how we're supposed to deal with that one. And it's not helping us. It's year after year, generation after generation, we're still having these same issues, but yet still, instead of looking at it by saying, well, it's my nature to be like this, and my nature to be like that, we talk about what the Bible says. We talk about, well, society says, right? And not realizing that this whole system is inverted, is inversion. So to the women out there who's hearing this conversation for the first time, it's about you really knowing who you are and stop denying yourself. Because innately, many of us know, right? We have a mind. A woman's mind and her intuition is sharp. She innately knows. She just doesn't follow her mind, right? She doesn't follow her first mind. Like a certain other come around, she knows the type of energy he's carrying. Her mind say, not that. But yet still, she goes and deals with that. I mean, if she winds up in certain circumstances and trying to change or manipulate that male that she's with, or that male tries to gaslight or manipulate her, right? So this is all of the psychological war going on between both sides, because both sides are under a spell. Now, if a man accepts his nature, right, that he's, what you say, parasitic, a predator, damn, he need to be in the jungle with. I'm saying, like, when you put it that way, but, you know, I see what you mean, what you're saying, but it's like, whoa, that's kind of dangerous stuff. It's dangerous for that type of energy to be at women and children.
Well, and the statistics have been telling you that, though. They've been telling you, when you're talking about those who, the violence against women and children, 85, more than 85%, it doesn't matter what color you are, what planet you are, more than 85% are males. When you're talking about raping, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. When you're talking about violent crimes, or when you're talking about, I'm using the code because I don't want anybody to get cut off. But when you're talking about all of these things, more than 85% of the perpetrators are males. So again, we're not respecting the nature of these beings. Because when you look at nature, for example, I talked about bears. Bears know full well, okay, I'm gonna have sex with him, but he gonna have to get on because when I have this baby, I don't want him around. Why? Because he's dangerous. I know he can wake up in the middle of the night and eat the baby for a snack. I know nature. I respect it. I'm gonna have sex with him because that's what he's here for, and then I'm gonna sit him off. That's nature. That's what they do in nature. Meanwhile, humans not intelligent enough to recognize they want to shack up with this being that, as you said, is dangerous. It's not a disrespect, but brothers know who they are and how they are. And the statistics don't lie. Brothers don't lie. The numbers are telling you.
That's real talk. That's real talk. Honey, it ain't all about the white man, so we gotta stop blaming the white man. Right?
I mean, that's
The white man colonized the whole world and the white women too. Who made this?
and yeah,
They only 6,000 years old. They ain't been here for like, they've been around for millions of years.
They not.
And
And then talk about the fact that it was melanated people that brought them into this land as America as slaves. They're not even talking about that.
Yeah, no, right. So, right, we romanticize our history, and we play the victim for too long. We're not taking accountability for the role we.
Not even talking about that.
Yeah, nothing right. So, who made them?
And yeah,
They only 6,000 years old. They ain't been here for like, they've been around for millions of years.
They not. And then talk about the fact that it was melanated people that brought them into this land as America as slaves. They're not even talking about that.
Yeah, nothing right. So, right, we romanticize our history, and we play the victim for too long. And we're not taking accountability for the role we played in our own mess. And this is kind of what this conversation is about. We gotta stop blaming white people for everything. That's a scapegoat, right? Because when you really get down to it, who created them? We did. We did all of this shit. We are responsible for everything that you see in existence. And until we start looking at that right in the face, and then this is where healing begins. Everyone talk about doing your shadow work, and your shadow this, and your shadow that. Well, honey, you better look at the shadow. This is the shadow. How did y'all get in this position? What did y'all do, right? What did we do? What did we do? Because like the sinners, right? You gotta invite the vampire in, right? That vampire gonna stand at the door. So what y'all doing up in there? Somebody gotta say, come on in. Somebody invited the white man, the white woman in. Somebody went and created and spliced and genetically modified and made these different beings as male species too, right? So we gotta take a good look, like, damn. We might need to say we fucked up somewhere, like we fucked up, we got to.
Look, if you know the white chromosome is a GMO, you know light skin is a GMO, original people at. Who are they? What did I just say? Where they at? Who are they? Talk to me now. We know light skin is a GMO. We know white chromosome is a GMO. Who are your original people?
We black, we just so-and-so quote unquote black.
Melanated women.
So let's talk about that, right? Because I went to a deep dive of that a couple weeks ago about the role women played in their own fall, right? And so when I was asking about, well, who made the Anunnaki? I was talking about AI, so let's just put it out there. Talking about AI, like, well, shit, if women were on the whole realm, right? We're talking about Tiamat. Well, who are these external forces and this and that and the other? Basically, your own children, right? There's a brother out here talking about the loving mother and the devouring mother, right? And he breaks down the two sides of I guess, the nature of the matrix of the womb of women, right? You have one that produces and creates, and the other one that devours. I see where he's going with that. I see what he says. But if women were here,
Breakup was bad.
but if women were here first, and so where these external forces come from? Well, obviously, she made them. These are her children. But at the same time, like if someone has children, you try to raise them the best you can. But then you have some children that go rogue, right? You got some children that break home and do other things. And then when they return back, they don't come back as the problem. Some of them come back to take your money, right? Some of them come back to overthrow you, right? And so these are the same things. We may have started and created these things, but the intention for them to turn on you, was that always there?
Yeah, because they're a reflection. The only thing, first of all, I've seen mothers who've gotten it bad from their children. But then when I go back and I ask, because I have a conversation and we're gonna have a consultation on what really happened. The mother was dirty as could be to the child when the child was younger. The dynamics between them is not just something that just happened because the child was whatever they were. It happened at a young age. So first of all, even before, remember I talked about this, the child in the womb sees everything that the mother sees, feels, and hears. So whatever before the child is even born, the child is cognizant of the mother and everything that went on with the mother. Then when the child is born, you have situations where mothers are putting out certain energies to their child, and whatever energies they put out, they got to return. That's the law. I'm just speaking on universal law. So when I see a child doing these things and being disrespectful to the mother, I know that the mother did some dirt. So the same way when I see men being disrespectful or doing whatever they do, then that is a reflection. Everything in our third dimension is a reflection of us on the inside. So that's what choice but to clean up and come into agreement with what you have said.
The integration, yeah. So we're all mirrors. So everyone is looking at their mirror.
Everyone. That's why you got to check self. That's the problem, because we want to be victims. We want to say, men ain't no good, and men. And the deal is, if you're getting that kind of man constantly coming into your third dimension, you got to check you. How am I drawing?
Right, that part. Right. Yeah.
Okay, because I love all the men I deal with. I got them in my class, I deal with them in business, I deal with them with chiropractor. I love them. All right, but I respect who they are. And that's the problem. We haven't been doing that, and we're not recognizing that if you're getting this kind of person, it's you.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to learn. You have to fulfill that contract. The contract, the soul contract, the karmics. The karmic debt. Well, we're all here dealing with karma. We're all here dealing with this situation, these relationships, however you're dealing with it. It's, I guess when we're talking about the solution and just saying it's just accepting each one's nature, right? So when you talk about, there's some men who are polygamous, right? And there's one for women who have many husbands. What's that? Polyamory. Polyamory, right? So, but some men can't handle that, right? But they expect women to be at their disposal. But as Sister said, it's on her. She has to stand her ground and in her power. I totally relate to that. Man, every time I get these shows, these powerful sisters, man, I get my wig split, okay? Straight up, split, so that, look, I just don't. Let me go to the chat. Now, how y'all feeling about this show? How you feeling about the information? Do y'all have any questions? So we got to, I guess we got to the solution, we got to the problem. Basically, it's us. Yeah, we the problem and we the solution.
Yeah. You are the God. Everything came from you. And we want to be the victim, but you can't be the God and the victim at the same time. You have to be one of the other.
pick one.
Now, when you step in your place as a guy, everything else has to come into order.
Not that. Stand your ground, honey. Y'all better get y'all some pit bulls, some guns, and some bullets. Because when this shit I'm telling you, when women say no, right, after they're used to, men are used to them saying yes, right, centuries, millennials, whatever the case may be, and we start saying no, then they're gonna hit you with, oh, you're a feminist, right?
Yeah.
You a lesbian, you a dyke, you this, and all of these little, you a witch, you this and that, you all this stuff, right? They gonna have fits, they gonna have right? Because they can't have this way no more. After all these billions of years that they've had, and now they gonna say, well, shit, you made us. We just a reflection of you.
What's a bitch?
A bad ass.
Yeah. Being in total control of herself.
The control.
Don't let me get to church. Don't let me get to church.
Of herself. Yeah, they're calling you that because you don't do what they want you to do anymore.
Man,
That's okay. You just told
we
me.
have an amendment. So maybe this is why we had the Amazon.
The
We had
Amazon.
these women women, right? And these was the women at the gates, basically. These sisters here did not play. The Amazonian, the Libyan Amazon, the Amazon.
That's why I heard. All I wanna do is see you turn into a giant woman. All I wanna do is see you turn into a giant woman.
That we've been over here in this realm, on this side of the world too. And these are the women that women are so masculine. Some of you black women, y'all just masculine. Y'all don't have to be big. Y'all may be doing all of this stuff. And also that's the feminine, masculine prototype or the stereotype of a woman. She's supposed to be made to look voluptuous. As long as she can make you have an arousal, that's what you consider a divine feminine, right? But women come in all prototypes, all archetypes of different women that you have. And it's time for women, you embrace who you are and walk in your divine power. And yes, I think we're going to need a massive amount of protection because women are waking up in droves. But so what do you think about the men listening to this show, hearing this information, right? This information, right? What do you think their response to be? Are they going to, someone put in the chat, a man recognizes his nature, but a woman doesn't. But that's kind of one-sided because the whole system caters to his nature.
But you still in the fight. Don't just listen. You the one who in control. Don't, whatever he says, you gotta understand, he, just like any other being, wants to survive. All right? So you gotta understand, we're sitting here saying that you really don't need a man and that we've been made to think we need a man. He's up there, well, what about me? What?
They say it now.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him for feeling that way. You gotta stand in his position. You stand in his position. And somebody say, you a woman, we got room over here, we don't need you. We're not gonna appreciate that. So, the problem is he doesn't know who he is because he's been lied to, and the woman doesn't know who she is. You gotta just don't stop thinking about him. Just think about you, fix you, because we don't need to put him down to uplift ourselves.
Right.
And that's what we have a tendency to do as women. Don't put him down. You gotta respect what he's going through too. He got feelings. He's feeling like, well, damn, why you know me? What we supposed to do? Daddy told me what we supposed to do.
What are we supposed to do? Like, we trying to figure us out, and now they gonna feel left out.
Okay.
So how do we move on from here?
I'm gonna tell you who I feel like. Like I told you, for me, I don't even get into that because I'm on a spiritual journey. But you know who I think does it the best when it comes to relationships with males? The so-called what they call a cougar. The cougar. You know why I think the cougar? The cougar got her own house. She got her when she was deep with it, she gonna say, hey, baby, oh, look, I want you to come over tonight. And
Girl, I'm cool with eggs, I'm cool with
I want you to cut the grass.
Hold the fuck up. I just seen something about that. A fucking cougar. Oh my god. I don't remember where.
And
he gonna do it.
yeah, you gonna do it. I'm gonna have some dinner.
I'm always saying, I'm gonna be that lady.
I'm gonna have a bath.
Oh. It was a short. I'm gonna post it in the. I will post it in one of my shorts. It was another short. I'm gonna post it in there. Other.
We're gonna have to enjoy each other. And then in the morning, you gotta get out.
All back to me.
He gets to do what he came to do. That's Fred C. And the cougar gets what she wants from him. And everybody's happy.
Oh,
So yeah,
Even exchange.
that's the
Put one in the chat if you a cougar. Put one in the chat. Put one in the chat. All the cougars, come on here, put the one in the chat. That's how I be a whole cougar out here. Listen, you because you're right, right? You're right. Because I ain't gonna tell you about my business.
no
I was watching some show, and it was saying something similar to that.
Oh,
The best
Lord.
relationship a woman can have is with a younger man. Right? Not no pet, no, we ain't talking no baby. Y'all don't get there. But it was like, and I totally got that, right? Because you're right, she's in control of whatever she has. And she don't need no dad. Ain't nobody, no daddy coming over here telling her what she needs to be, how she needs to be. And, like she said, come over here and do this, that, and the other. He more than happy to do it.
and she more than happy to pay him. She might pay him $200 to cut the grass.
And because there's no headache involved, right? There's no attachment involved.
the spiritual
Shout
attachment.
out to the Cougars. Did y'all put the one in the chat? I got to see it. Don't be scared. Shout out. Y'all niggas in the building. That was, I'm calling y'all.
Okay, now this I totally disagree with. I would say that would be more of a mindset, maturity, balance, control, self-control on both parts. Because the spiritual attachment, that's a spiritual cord. It's an invisible cord. No, you don't want it. Because whoever he having intercourse with is going to attach to you and your energy. And that's why I have a fucking problem. No. It's bad enough you have a child with somebody, you cannot sever that fucking cord. You can't sever that cord when you have a child with somebody. But to have a partner that, unbeknownst to you, you don't know, if you were in a relationship or not, whatever, committed, they have sex with somebody else. You have sex with them, period. You having sex with other people too, because of the energetic cord. Not only that shows up energetically through STD, sexually transmitted demons. No, I don't agree with this concept at all. Not.
All that shit. Lady in the building. Ray in the building. Raymond in the building. Kevin in the building. Shout out to the Cougars. All right.
Yeah, she's not worried about what's in his phone and who he's there. She's not concerned about
I'm taking applications for the
Ooh. She made my hair.
Girl, you done opened up the
What I do agree with though is both parties being in a committed relationship and being able to live apart on a mature, committed basis. I do believe in that. in open and honesty, and I'm seeing you and only you, and that's the way it can be, and that's the way it will be. I do believe in that now. I believe for real, people need their own space. I have definitely reached the point of I need my own space. I need my own space. I want the need to feel and feel comfortable in my own space. Have my own space, and that being the thing. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. Respectively. Great with it. The other shit's.
Pandora's box now.
Mm-mm.
Go ahead, Sister Beverly. You've been very conservative, and I know you think you need some of the Blue Lotus tea. Come on, baby. Shameless plug. You have to purchase the Blue Lotus tea. SacredTea.net. It's available now. I have the new and improved. 3, 2, 1. Sure. I have the new and improved Equinox blend, powerful. I now added ashwagandha, burdock root, hibiscus, soursop, moringa, green tea, and peppermint with pineapple slices. Honey, you can have this hot or cold available now. Let me go ahead and get y'all this listen, honey, I got to pay some bills. Oh my God. SacredTea.net. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little discount code. Use Sacred Lotus. Use Sacred Lotus. Those of you watching the show today, use Sacred Lotus as a discount code, save you 10% on your purchase. We're fully stocked right now. That doesn't last long. I make 2 batches a month. And I keep it fresh. I try not to keep a lot of inventory because I want you to get it fresh. And if we sell out, you can always join the VIP emailing list at SacredTea.net. Use the coupon code Sacred Lotus. Save 10%.
I'm about to get a picture.
I got bills on here. I think something to do this. Listen, this is a phenomenal show. Sisters, y'all are amazing. Sisters, take it all. Sisters, like, look here. This is what we need to do. First bullshit, like, stop all the games and the foolishness. This is it. Be your predator. You need to stay your damn ground. If you want to listen for Dago, be 50 and over, so they have your own shit. Make sure you get up so they can go. You need your grass cut, this and that. I'm telling you, I'm taking applications for the community. So we need this. I thank you so much. Sister Red, come on now. I want to go into a video you talked about. You was dropping on, you were breaking down the video of the X and the Y chromosome, the masculine. It was a particular video. You was talking about sexuality. And you had mentioned, what was that video? You was responding to someone, and they took it out of context about I think you were talking about lesbianism, but it wasn't sexual, right? And you said, when you mentioned that, I thought that was phenomenal, because when most men hear us talk like this, regardless of whatever your sexuality is, it's in business, in my opinion. I don't toot my horn on my sexuality, but I'm not going to parade it either. But when you was answering this woman's comment, you was talking about how she took it out of context when you were talking about the X and the Y chromosome and how you went and merged it into lesbianism. So can you expound on that?
Ooh, please.
Yeah, so you must be talking about is it the one about? It ain't the one about.
It was like pride. It was something about pride.
Pride and chakras.
Hold on. Yeah, it was just, do I need to pull, let me pull up.
Yeah, don't look at the tape.
Pull up the video.
I think a minute, get the tape from this.
Yeah, no, you be lit. You be lit on the shit. And don't y'all be going, oh, they gonna be talking about, I know this what this was all about. No, this ain't what it's all about. You just hold your damn ass still. And, I'm gonna play this video and, let me see. I got it here. Cause I was like, yo, oh shit, I ain't never heard that shit broke down like that before.
Oh, real quick, you said something real quick. You don't have to be 50 on to do what I'm talking about, all right?
That young shit.
Young sisters know how to get their money and get their own whatever and then handle business. What I'm saying is he doesn't have to be in the house the whole time, all right? You know, let him do what he came to do and then let him go and be free.
Stop trying to apply meaning to it. Just let it be.
Yeah.
Just appreciate our identity. We get our value from being seen as the mother and the housewife. And that's it. In 1970, they cut that. Women can get everything put in their name. So now we 50 years into that. And it's time to go ahead and transition that mindset away from meeting the male.
And thank you for saying that because that shows, look, she was in slavery back in the 70s. She couldn't get anything in her name. She didn't marry because you belong to him. That ain't slavery. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you can hold it. I'm almost there. Take off the fast. I was right. Is the Y chromosome narcissistic? What's that? Oh, is divine femininity a lesbian expression?
Yeah, the women are naturally lesbian.
Yeah, hold on, what is you an answer?
That wasn't a response video though, so if you talking about a response video.
No, this was a response video. Hold on. I just saw this shit today. It's I can't find it now. But I saw it today.
I posted it today, I didn't see, I ain't been back on there, they might have been untook that down, cause that got 40, it got, the shares, they were sharing it more than they were doing anything else with.
Honey, this was, it's gone here. I can't find it now. I thought I saved it. Here we go.
Let her talk
And
about
how people always attributed these words to sexuality or, hold on, I can't find it. I probably saved it, but it's not here. It was one of your recent ones, like you just did it, like not too long ago. All right, I'm sorry, I don't have time for that, y'all. We might have a part two. Cause you broke that shit down, I was like, oh, I did. You still broke that shit down in a way I didn't expect. Cause you ain't afraid to go there.
Yeah, like, I mean.
You're not afraid to go there. All right, so, moving on. We're gonna about to wrap this thing up. We've been on for almost 2 hours, and man, ladies, you have been phenomenal. You have really helped a lot of people in this chat. I wanted to open up the chat. If you all have any questions, please, now will be the time. But in the meantime, ladies, let the people know where they can find you. Let them know your social media, your services, and what you do, and where they can contact you.
The door is open.
What you do, and where they can contact you.
All right, well, I'm everywhere in the poetic metaphysician. So you look up the poetic metaphysician, you're gonna have Rev Zahaja on whether you on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, definitely TikTok. That's where all my fire is with my long form content, all my lectures. They going up on YouTube at the poetic metaphysician.
Yes.
All right, you, sister?
All right, well, you all can find me at UNA University, UNA Republic. So if you find UNAUniversity.com and UNARepublic.com, you also can, on YouTube, TikTok, X, all right? You can find us at UNA Republic, all right? Real quick, y'all can find this book, the Get a Law book, that we talk about. We go into the laws, universal laws, hierarchy of laws, and what have you. You can get the ebook or the physical book. You can get that on UNAUniversity.com. I want to say real quick to all those universal laws. Well, you find UNAUniversity.com and UNARepublic.com. You also can on YouTube, TikTok, X. All right, you can find us at UNA Republic. All right. Real quick, you all can find this book, the Get a Law book, that we talk about. We go into the laws, universal laws, hierarchy of laws, and what have you. You can get the ebook or the physical book. You can get that on UNAUniversity.com. I want to say real quick to you, Mama T. You awesome. You're awesome. You're wonderful. Thank you for this beautiful platform. Because I know both of us, especially Dr. Rev, you know, so much respect for you putting this information out and studying, because we try to reach our sisters and just get them to know self. And listen, I said this before, we just need 10%, because we feel like, oh, we got so much to do, these women are behind, but we need 10% of the women to figure out who they are and really get it in their minds, and automatically, everybody has to come into order. All right, that's that spiritual thing. They call it the 100% theory, or I call it the 10% fact. Because spiritually, we're all connected. Give us 10% of the women to know this and know who they are. Well, this thing's going to turn around so fast. And it's going to clean up. And the only way it cleans up is when the original people, we already established who that is, come into line with themselves. So I want to say thank you, Mama T, for this platform. Dr. Red, thank you for what y'all are awesome. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here. This was a phenomenal show. A lot of information about, this was a whole like 30 This really opened up my mind to certain things, right? Because I'm literally trying to figure out, is this possible for us, right? Because we can see the table turn. We can see women becoming empowered, just mentally, spiritually. Once they started pulling from the religions and started going into their divine selves and awakening, you can start to see the shift take place. And it's a ripple effect. And then I'm looking at how some of the brothers are acting, and you know, some of them are like encouraging sisters. Yeah, we need you because the world's ending. So y'all better hurry up, wake up and save us from this shit. Are not so welcoming of the shift. And so I'm like trying to find, is there such thing as a happy medium, right? Well, never thought about our natures being inverted, right? And accepting the male as, because I was under that thing, you're supposed to be protecting us and shit, while we go in the temples and do the rituals and start working on magic and shit, this, that, and the other. You supposed to be anchoring shit, making sure nothing comes to disturb us, but come to find out, it's y'all the ones disturbing us, right? And I was like, really like, what is it like? I mean, I saw it, maybe I had one, two, but I'm gonna be honest with the shit. I'm gonna be honest, like, damn, I'm just trying to figure out a way.
Oh, yeah.
Just trying.
That's what I was gonna say. It was not okay to do this. I'm saying, me and my daughter was like, yeah, you were here to serve us. True. Very factual and true. But the triggering trauma within him, or to any man or boy, to have that realization could be very triggering, right? Can be very traumatizing, can be very, well, what is that supposed to mean? What is my place? Again, with how the divide started before the racial divide. And, we loved him all the fucking same. We do love him. We ain't love him no less just because he was a boy. But it was just coming to the realizations of spirituality and how the dualities work within the realms of our natural nature. And we thought that was funny. We probably didn't at the time, right? And it was inconsiderate, to kind of poke at his emotions like that. But I feel like we do that. It's like, like, like my big sister was just, she was worse, way worse than I ever was. But yeah, it's like, that's one of the things that me and my daughter, we had a conversations about what was going on. I just brought different things up to her. She brought different things up to me, having these spiritual conversations. And one of the things that happened, I guess, before this timeline was the unaliving of Minnie. And we're taking a different approach in this timeline of healing. Um, and I can see that and see why and how that is and how these things are coming to be and how it's more than a possibility, especially if my heart's intent was for everyone to be able to heal and know the truth. That was the whole intent, no matter the race, the color, the sex, the whatever, whoever, whatever. That was my true heart's intent. So these things are happening, and we have more of a realization as to go from here. It's amazing, wonderful.
Into a block, basically. Right? Then it don't fit.
Right?
But taking a hard look at this shit, like, wow, maybe this is, and when you said going back to how we used to live in villages, right? We still live like that, if you really look at the village these days, right? So, and it's about acceptance, accepting who you are, knowing who you are, them accepting who they are, right? And getting down to the community. Being down.
The village is part of the work that the matriarch circle. That's when I started that community that houses the Sacred Healing University, because people are always asking, what do we do? Like they need that direction. And that village that you brought up, Sister Diva, like that's on point, because when I say women are naturally lesbian, we're not talking about the patriarchy umbrella of it. We're not sexualizing.
Right. That's the video we was talking.
I came from the it's at the top of my page, but it wasn't a response video. But it was more or less a response to the men who were calling me lesbian because I speak on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's women's nature. Our nature is to be.
Imagine sitting on the beach.
Be admirers of the divine feminine. Like it's an adoration. We just, like, when I see another black woman, I see myself like, sister, I love you. Like, you look like, I don't care who you are. And that's the whole idea that we have to get back to, instead of associating that validation with the male, with the patriarch. What the patriarch says, like you said, they want you to look a certain way in order for you to be defined. No, sister, you are me and I am mine. Like, we are, this is us right here. It's the admiration. So, when I had broke down the word, and this is the video you talking about, broke down the word lesbian into loose by on, which is loose being the light, Bob being the spirit, and on being God, which makes the term lesbian the God form of our
well, maybe that was the video, honey.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna play it right quick. If this might have been
this pinned at the very top of my TikTok, very first video.
Yeah, that y'all got a minute? Yeah, y'all got a minute. Y'all Let me see if I can pull up the actual TikTok page on this computer without it crashing off. The TikTok, they different. They're not the same. But anyway. But I'm gonna pull this up right quick. I want y'all to hear this. How this is to break this thing down. And, hold on. What the hell?
Ow.
You go to
Look at my damn self.
and we get to your page. It's only gonna take a second. Then you let me do it. Ooh, all the games people play. Come on, TikTok. I wanna play this daggone thing. Ooh, they won't let me click on yours. That's crazy. Oh, hold on, let me see if it's up. Okay. Hold on. This playing like TikTok, it's TikTok for real. Like I click on it and it bounces, it's so weird. This stuff is on the most crazy shit. So I'm about to play this clip. Check this out
It's real shit. We be
and let me know
what
what you think. Let me share the screen right quick. Yeah, this is gonna be quick. Keep down. Alright. Here. Alright, we're gonna play it right here. Can y'all see it?
Yes. It's not no volume.
We can see it, but no volume, yeah.
There's no volume?
Yeah, you gotta, if you share that, make sure when you share it again, you click on volume, turn the volume on. So, yeah, so,
Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. We start from the T up. Can you hear it?
no, you gotta go out of that present and then go back into it. And, when you go back into it, make sure when you set
Volume up.
yeah, turn the volume on, cause it won't turn on unless you turn it on.
All right, okay. Let me exit out. Let me go back in. And, in.
Yeah, whatever you put to show, make sure you turn that volume on before you hit save.
The audio tab. All right, on here, let's see. The volume's up. And it's lower. Can you hear anything?
Nope, still no volume.
Oh, let me see something. Still no volume?
Nope, no volume.
That's okay. There's more than one way to skin this cat. Hold on.
I know, skin a cat, skin it.
This is another way. I just have to play it from the phone and, hold on. And hooked up here. I'm gonna play it right here, and then I'm gonna show it on the camera. You should be able to hear it. Wow. Oh, that ain't real. Oh, I ain't giving up yet. One more game.
I'm ready to see it. We holding on.
Absolutely.
Wow, they are not doing that.
You thinking this means?
Oh shit, hold on. What they call parental advisory. You got some children, they got to leave the room. Right, we got to go from PG-13 straight in the arm. Straight in the arm. Alright, let me single my screen right quick. And then I want y'all to listen and hear. We're gonna go.
It's on TikTok.
System of patriarchy has polluted
YouTube
your
to
mind with the
TikTok.
supremacy of masculinity. You think it just means we want to fuck each other. Hi, my name is Reverend Sahaja L. I help women break narcissistic spells using ancient metaphysics so that they can increase their proximity to luxury. See, just like Stack in the movie Synergy, I was so infatuated by white women that you don't even realize she uses the same narcissistic spells taught by the white man who raised her to get you disconnected from the good man who made you. And as a result, you weaponize the black woman's liberation against her by demonizing her, but decentering you. And so anytime we talk about the return of the patriarchy, patriarch of divine femininity pure uneducated information. The term lesbian was coined in the 13th century in reference to the island of Lesbos, birthplace of the Greek poet Sappho. Now, the patriarch will have you believe that this was due to the fact that her birth was a depiction of her lust for other women, but in actuality, the significance of her work was that she was so in love with the godliness of womanhood that you wish you had. And she dedicated her life to expressing that love in art form. Because what better way to honor the divinity of femininity than by alchemizing her creative energy into poetry? After all, Sappho isn't just a poet. Sappho is also
Sappho.
Sophia. And I would be Reverend Dr. Sahasha Hill if I didn't give you the tools to break down the spell. Now, check this out for a minute. The word lesbian can be seen as an alchemical factorization of the sounds loose, loose, meaning light, and
Here's the money glitch that's getting women problems.
Motherfucker. Damn commercial, I can't stand them.
meaning light, and wisdom. Lesbian can be seen as an alchemical factorization of the sounds loose, meaning light, and wisdom, meaning duality, as in balance, or more deeply in Egyptian, which is code for spirit. And finally, which you may know as Anu, which simplifies to the word God. Essentially, the word lesbian has more to do with the state of acknowledging and being harmonized with the Creator, which we refer to as feminine energy, than it does the idea of walking about the world, munching on other people's cards. Turning the matriarch of lesbian feminist movement in his self-loving and narcissistic white girl term is because he knows that when the black woman rises, the ego he serves will be subsided, and he will be left alone to master his own femininity, which you can typically find up back within my comments. Speaking of subsiding, the significance of a new in this case, which is the odd in lesbian, is when we reduce the vowel, we are left with the new, which is also the ancient tongue for primordial waters. The same primordial waters that birthed Monster, which came to be known as rock. Furthermore, new is also the 13th letter of the Greek alphabet. It is used in physics to represent frequency. Logically speaking, 13 also represents the divine femininity, in that there are 13 moons within the lunar cycle, and the moon also happens to be the god of the waters. These waters were new, govern the emotional/feminine body, which is the 3D expression of the spirit itself. Now, for the sake of conversation, let's take a moment to dissect modern day lesbian culture, since all of that likely bypassed your big head and went straight to your little one, because that's the ability to comprehend life outside of the facts. I'm glad you also know that cunnilingus is not just an uneventful act to prep the kitty for the dog. It is the holy equivalent to communion. Instead of 2 noses and a glass of wine, you get 2 lips and a sip of the divine. This is what made the difference between sex perishing and the white woman's power. And Smoke and Sammy honored their creator, and in the end, they're done. Long story short, the lesson here is, calling me a lesbian is more of an insult to your intelligence than it is to my purpose. Because patriarchy has limited you to the act of sexualizing your creative energy, when divine femininity is the art of alchemizing your creative energy, which is the sole principle that continues to remind us that the womb man is the true man, and the true man, or lesbian, is God. Checkmate.
Oh, shit! God, listen, here, hold on now.
Facts. Damn, she broke that shit down.
Shout out to Dr. Red.
Down.
Dr. Red. She is, come on, y'all. Y'all gotta, Come on, boy, let's just lay that shit down. She laid that shit down, honey.
Damn. I'm gonna have to re-look at that.
I don't think y'all understand. This is gonna be the Quantum Fest, y'all. Make sure you get your.
Oh, she gonna be at the Quantum Fest.
Yes, Dr. Saad will be in, oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Dr. Saad will be in the building. I'm trying to, let me get you back in, too. Are you in there?
Yeah,
I got so excited, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Listen, this was a phenomenal show. Your sisters are amazing. What y'all think about that video, y'all? What y'all think about that video? Put a one in the chat if that. No, put some fire emojis in the chat. Put some fire emojis in the chat. Put that fire, mic drops, fire emojis in deep bombs. All the above. Sisters on fire. Make sure you follow these sisters on social media. Make sure you check out their services and their products. Listen, this channel, Stellar Matters Podcast, is really all about the awakening, the activation of the divine feminine. Because this is our realm at the end of the day. And until we face our ugly truths, there's no way we can heal and correct all the things that went wrong. You have to wake up and snap out of the spell that you have, casted upon yourself. Yeah. We did it. We did it. And we have to fix it. So, man, I'm excited. I cannot, we got to do this again. Yes, ma'am. We have to have this conversation again. Once again, thank you, sisters. I love y'all. Sister Rest. Sister, we call you now Dr. Red.
Dr. Red.
I'm going to stick you in the final says.
Yes,
Make
ma'am.
sure y'all get their ticket. Sister Diva. Man, Sister be coming with the records. Sister be coming with the science. And Sister be coming with the raw truth. Let me get everybody's zodiac sign. What's your sign, Sister Diva?
Aquarius.
Of course.
Only.
Of course. And I know that you Pisces.
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
This.
January.
So, of course, January. All right, so check it out. I'm a Cancer. Of course, we had to go into the deep topic. Of course, we had to go into the mysticism with the Pisces, the esoteric. And of course, we had to bring the knowledge and the truth with the Aquarius. And with that being said, man, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to put you in the backstage. Hang out for me a little bit. So I'm going to close out.
Hold on, somebody asked for our tag now. Yeah, so you got cash out, but my cash out is Book Rail Sahara. That's $sign Book Rail Sahara.
$sign.
Hold on 1 second, let me put him in the chat one at a time. Say this again, Dr. Rep.
Book Rail Sahara.
Book. All right, so I just dropped that in the chat. If y'all can see that, I'm gonna put, hold on. No, that ain't you. Hold on. I just put it in, here we go. All right, y'all see that? It's on the screen, and for yours, Sister Diva.
$sign UNA Republic.
UNAP. Oh, that's right, y'all. Support these sisters. They dropped some jewels for y'all today. UNA Republic. Make sure you get that screenshot. Do something, whatever you got to do, get that. I'm about to drop the other sisters in here right now. Actually, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna put both of y'all in at the same time. Hold on. Let's see. Lion in the background. Hold on, here we go. No, that's just the DNA. Oh, here we go. DNA. UNA. Okay. Make sure you go and support Sister Diva. That's it right there, right? Is that correct? UNA Republic?
Yes,
Cash App. Make sure you donate to these sisters. Listen, we're doing our best to put in this work, right? And this is what we do. This is our passion. This is our love. This is how we get back to our community, right? These women here put in the time. They put in the scholarship, right? They have services. And I just want, it's time for us to really start appreciating the knowledge that we're getting from these divine feminine energies here. This whole platform is really a platform to bring on sisters who have this information to share with you. Now, there's a lot of other platforms that don't showcase us the way that they should. They're not representing us in how we are, right? I'm not afraid of our sisters. I love my sisters, and the stronger the roar you are. Honey, this is your home. Come on here and showcase and do your thing. If you want to be a guest on the Stellar Matters podcast, please contact me at info@sacredtea.net, info@sacredtea.net. Or you can go to sacredtea.net, just click on Stellar Matters podcast and fill out the form. Please contact me. My sisters, I love my sisters, and the stronger the roar you are. Honey, this is your home. Come on here and showcase and do your thing. If you want to be a guest on the Stellar Matters podcast, please contact me at info@sacredtea.net, info@sacredtea.net. Or you can go to sacredtea.net and just click on Stellar Matters podcast and fill out the form. It's only me, y'all. So if y'all were filling out forms and I didn't get back to you, trust me, I will. Honey, I gotta make the tea. I gotta make the merch. I gotta make the mama tea content. I gotta feed the dog and walk the dog and do all kinds of stuff. Honey, then I gotta find time to sleep. Then I gotta do the quantum fest. Listen, there's a lot on my plate. I'm gonna get to you. Trust me, I'm not ignoring y'all. I just gotta take off this hat and then I gotta put on this hat, and I'm doing a lot. One day, the universe will bless me with a dynamic team, and we'll be able to put something more powerful together for you. What was you gonna say? What's that? I said very soon you're gonna be blessed with, you're gonna have fortune with that. Yeah, very soon. I appreciate that. Once again, thank you, ladies. May you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you all soon. Woo! What a show, what a show, what a show, what a show. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Listen, we are doing our best these days. We are working with what we got, and what we're doing is remembering. We're remembering our ancient memory, so we return. Not to where we were broken, but to where we were first whole. From the ashes of betrayal and turning against each other, silence and separation, baby, these matriarchs arrived. Not to seek revenge, but to restore balance. We named the wounds, we faced the shadows, and now we remember. The throne was never truly lost. It was just waiting as it sits within us. To every sister listening, the war was never just outside of us. It was inside us, in our names, in our stories, our mirrors. And yet through all of it, we still carry the codes. We still lead portals. We still speak stars. This is just not the rise of women, honey. This is the return of the original order. Womb born, earth rooted, cosmic, unapologetic, whole. So, to the matriarchs rising now, baby, take your place. Guard your gates. Heal the web. Speak the truth. Hold the light and never again forget who you are. And until next time, I'm Shabbos, aka Mama T, your host, your sister, your reflection. I love y'all. Peace out. And until next time, just take over the whole world and shout out to the Cougars, honey. Shout out to the Cougars. Love you. Peace.
The fuck is that? Fucking crazy. So that's it right now. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm coming back. I'm gonna do my little bit of what I gotta do, what I done wrote down so far, and then we're gonna go over the first part of the video. What I got. It's crazy because that's exactly what I put as a headline before I started writing everything. I put a woman goddess right here. So, and then I took all my other notes. Took these notes yesterday, and the rest of these is from. Oh no, this was from yesterday too. Different sections got different pages. And this was from this video. This was from this video. So about the X and the Y gene. Before the racial divide, the masculine and feminine divide. The gods from the demigods. And I'll be back. Y'all be great. Don't give up because it's too easy.